This next slide summarizes the more detailed numbers that are in the report, and then I'll talk about briefly. Essentially, the revenues range from $34 to $32 million in year 7. The decline is in part due to some of the state revenue, state subventions, where a special allocation is provided to newly incorporated cities. That goes away after 5 years. Again, this table is before looking at the effects of SB 89. Expenditures also declined from the $45 million shown there in year 2 to $39 million in year 7. That's the result of a number of factors, including repaying the county for initial year services, and that repayment is stretched over a 5-year period, so by the 7th year that payment will be complete, and that's why the overall expenditures are lower. Also, the initial years there will be a number of startup costs. The city will be need to develop its own general plan, zoning ordinances, and other planning documents, which are extraordinary expenses in those first few years. Again, the net result of those numbers are a shortfall in year 7 of $7.6 million. Because the county does continue to provide services for the first transition year, and the new city receives revenues during that first year, the new city is able to establish some reserves. However, as I mentioned, they do have to repay the county if the county requests repayment over 5 years. And so those repayments, as well as the future year shortfalls, quickly consume the reserves that are established that first year. This table provides more detail about the various revenues the new city would receive. Again, these are revenues typical of most cities in California. They include property tax. One very important point I'd like to make about property tax is that the number shown here and the amount of tax transferred from the county to the new city is independent of property taxes that are currently generated in the area. The amount that's transferred from the county is based on a formula established by state law, and I'll talk in more detail about that in a moment. The next largest revenue source is actually shown near the bottom. That's labeled vehicle license fees. Again, those are registration fees paid when you register your car, and that was the revenue source that was taken away by the state's budget. City would, of course, get as I mentioned, a full range of revenues other cities receive. In East LA, those revenues are generally lower than what we've seen in other cities. They include sales tax, hotel taxes, various fees and permits, the utility users tax. It's shown in this table at the current level that the county currently charges and collects. It's assumed the city would continue at least at that level of utility users tax. Park and recreation fees, various other fees, and some amount of investment earnings. Again, the city will provide a full range of services